Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tangled Silver Magazine's Ageless Lounge. I am Robin Sauls, welcoming you back. Today, I'm really excited because we are getting to talk with Barbara Brooks of SecondAct Women. It's an organization out of Denver, Colorado that I am totally in love with this woman and her attitude around ageism and diversity. And she's just an amazing woman. So, Barbara, welcome to the Ageless Lounge today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy we can make this work. Both of our internets didn't work the first time we were going to do this, right?
Yes, it's that Colorado weather and internet stuff. You never know what you're going to get, but I'm tickled that we're having a good run so far.
Right.
So Barbara, let's start off, because I start off every one of these Ageless Lounge with a question to you. Is what does it mean when I tell you I believe you're? What does that resonate with for you?
So I have a different opinion. So when I started my company in 2018, SecondAct Women, we had started out with an event, and we decided, hey, let's craft I love a good graphic tee with a blazer. So I said, you know what, as a product, as another revenue generator, but also just to launch the company with vigor, let's sell graphic tees that had hashtag Ageless. Loved it. My business partner at the time, Guadalupe, and I, we sold out of them. And the women loved them. At the conference, we would see them everywhere, so on and so forth. And then I was in an interview, and I don't even know what was said, but the word ageless came up, and something triggered in me that, you know what? I should actually Google what ageless means. And I think because we were talking about anti-aging and, all the synonyms of, various words when it comes to ageism and all of that. And so sure enough, I get off and I Google what ageless means. And I became not a fan of the word ageless. And the only reason is, but I'm now this was a couple of years ago. Now, as you and I are talking about, and this is the name of your podcast, I did the same thing. I went down, I decided to, because I had erased the word from my vocabulary. And the reason is this, and I'm going to read it. Ageless means not growing old or showing the effects of aging. Well, I'm a pro-age, age-friendly, age-positive human and public speaker. And so for me, I like for women and men and they to own this time in life, to own this chapter. I'm chapter 57. So for me to say that ageless means is not growing old or showing, really it's the showing the effects of aging. That's not possible. As we age, aging is living. Living is showing wrinkles. Aging is showing, there will be signs of aging. So that's why I am stuck with, do I like the word again or do I not? Because here's another thing. I went down the rabbit hole, and not only did I find that as, because AI is going to pull up all kinds of things.
Right.
No, it was AI. I did AI, and then I did regular Webster Dictionary and all that. So then it also says, another website said, gave an example of the word. It said, they seemed ageless and hearty, full of energy and youth. So I can understand that statement until they got to the word youth.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
I can say that ageless does mean two things. The new term is two things can be true at once.
Right.
Is that what they're saying now?
I think that's what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now I'm seeing that the word ageless, if I want to turn my age positivity into owning that word ageless, then I would say, okay, ageless does mean that we're hearty, we're full. I'm not going to say energy, full of youth, but I'll say we're energetic. Right. I say that ageless means that we are unbound by whatever society wants to put on us. So I am now, and I'm going to actually post this, because I love it, we're having this conversation. I'm going to post this inside of my Facebook community and find out what other women think about the word ageless.
Yes.
What side of the coin are they on?
It is funny because it is a trigger word, which is kind of why I love it, because I kind of love the trigger word. Because for me, I looked up the definitions before I used it, and I was like you. When you see it one way, you can take it. I'm also one that I like to make my own definitions up that suit me and at the time, right? And so for me, I was in this struggle of anti-aging and pro-aging, and listening to everybody argue about why this is this and this is that. And I looked at it and said, you know, when it gets right down to the middle of it, everybody really wants the same thing. They're saying I'm anti-aging or pro-aging, but really we all want to look our best at where we are in today, right? We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We all want to be our best today. So that's where I jumped in and thought, I'm going to use Ageless, because I do feel like I don't want to look young. I'm not trying to recapture my 20s. I am going to be 57 in a couple of weeks. I'm not trying to recapture that. But I also am what I consider an ageless woman, because my age does not define me. What defines me is the energy level I have, the activities I'm doing, the people I'm meeting. It's not about my age or my hair color. It's about being just ageless inside and the energy that brings me, which is why I decided Ageless Lounge. And I love it though, because it does. I get some women to go, oh, no, you're trying to make us feel like, oh no, I am, if technically you want to do it, pro-aging advocate, right? But again, that word sometimes is also upsetting to somebody, because I've had one person tell me that they thought that I was encouraging you to let yourself go and be old. No, I want you to embrace who you are and celebrate. Yeah, I was. Yeah. Well, can I share a secret? It was a male. It was a male gentleman who made that comment to me, and I was like, okay, no. But so I love it because it does get conversations going, because it is such a triggering word for everybody.
See, and so, okay, so I can get that. I just took a step back. I can get that. And I personally have always been saying over the last year and a half, I'm a pro-age speaker. I'm a pro-age or pro-aging, either way, depending on the conversation, advocate. Now, I will still use that, but I have started using age positive or age friendly, depending on the audience, so to speak. Right. But I can see where people say, oh, if you're pro-age or pro-aging, you're saying I shouldn't get Botox, or I shouldn't do the anti-aging creams, or that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, the time. For me, pro-aging just means you can do whatever you want. That's actually the beauty of being in the midlife quest that we're in. You do you. I'm all in favor of it.
Exactly.
But for us to eradicate and erase the age bias that society, hiring managers, and others place, family members, we place internally on ourselves, we have got to own that if you're 42, 52, 62, or 82, you have to own that, because you're aging. That's what Ageless, I just read, says, is that, so I'm just saying, own this time, and let's eradicate the idea that when you turn 57, that you should be expired. You should be expired.
Right.
Well, some people say we should be expiring the minute we turn 50. So I can see where people would say that, but I use it as a different. Now, I'm a positive person, so I've always looked at things with a positive take. But I get that. That's not what I'm saying. I always tell our women inside of our community, whenever I do introduce what the company and what we stand for, I never want people to say, or women to even feel, that they don't belong because maybe they've had, again, Botox, or they've had a facelift, or whatever, or they've done something. I just lost 33 pounds because I'm on Mounjaro. That's not what I want you to own it. Just be okay with this time, and because you can't reverse it.
Right. Barbara, that's why I love you so much, because you have the same synergy that I have in reference to it. I think that we should be defining it for ourselves. And my definition of beauty and aging is, yes, I let my hair go natural and my silver, gray tones, whatever you want to call them, right? I don't choose to do Botox. I choose to embrace the curves that I've got. Yes, would I like to lose a few pounds? Sure, but I'm not going to stress so much about that. It is about defining it for ourselves. And I think that's really the important piece. I'm the same way. I've had people go, oh, well, then we can't read your magazine if we're not silver haired, right? No, absolutely not. We can't come to your event we have coming up in September because we have to be silver. No, I play with everybody. I just want you to own your authentic self. Be true to who you are. If you want to color your hair, color your hair. If you want to not, don't. If you want Botox, do it. If you don't. Like, not, let's not worry about judging what everybody else is doing around us. Let's focus on embracing what we're doing and loving ourselves first. I think that's where it starts. Because if you're happy with yourself, it's a whole lot easier to embrace everybody else around you.
And I love that you just said that, and also about because you used the word silver. I was, as a pro ageist, I was stuck on the word just last week. I decided, and then I had to take my mind out of what silver means. So again, just because I am preaching owning this time, I still will have my own biases or my own. I'm still working through certain things, right? So when I decided to have my little piece of silver, my streak, I actually had a couple of friends when I was making the decision, do I keep it or not? I asked a couple of friends over dinner, and half of the women, there were about 8 or 9 of us, half of the women said I would get rid of it. And this was before Second Act Women. So I would get rid of it because people are going to think you're older than you are, or they're going to think you're your age, right? And I didn't think anything of that statement. And then the other half, including my business partner at the time and still friend, Guadalupe, said, I would keep it. I think it's great. I think it's sexy and cool. And so did some of the other women. Obviously, I ended up keeping it because I do like to stand out. Not that I don't stand out already at 5'11" with high heels, but I kept it. Now, last week, I decided there is a YouTuber that I follow. So I'm becoming a content creator, which, a lot. Anyway, that speaks to the technophobia that we're supposed to have, finger quotes, that's bull S. So last week, I decided to create another series as part of my YouTube channel. I already have a podcast called Second Act with Barbara Brooks that I had just started back in March. Yeah. And I just decided I was following a woman called Solo and Silver. And I loved everything about what she stood for. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to follow her. And because I want to become a content creator and to get to 1,000+ subscribers so that it also becomes a revenue stream. But for me, it's always about my messaging. But also I'm a businesswoman because we've got to remember we're entrepreneurs. I decided I'm going to call my new series, and I toured with it, but I'm going with it. It's called Solo, Savvy, and Silver. Streaking. I put the streaking in parentheses to be fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And because now, just 2 or 3 years ago, I would have not wanted to put the word silver. Right. Because silver says we're old, finger quotes. Silver says you're old maid. Silver says, and I'm someone who's been owning my silver, and I probably need to, if you're watching, I'm probably about 75% gray. My naturals are about 75% gray. But I myself, as a pro ageist, had a moment of, do I use the word silver? But I'm owning it, and I am. I had a moment with myself.
Yay, that's awesome. I think that's I truly a believer. Like, I jumped into it, and I went on to Instagram and made a statement. I opened up an account called Tangled Silver as a personal account and posted, okay, I'm going to embrace my gray hair, silver hair, whatever I have underneath hair, and I'm going to give it 2 years. And I did that because then I would put myself out there for 2 years because I was like, okay, worst comes to worst, I color it. I'm not stuck with it if I don't like it. But I also wanted to give myself a long enough of time because I have longer hair as well. I mean, it's a lot longer than it was when I started.
It was shoulder length. Already long.
Well, when I started, it was shoulder length, and it was this very yellow, like straw oak kind of yellow. But I was like, I went out there and just put it out there because I wanted to just see it. And that was a journey. It was a matter of like, if you had told me 10 years ago, I would have a magazine embracing aging in silver hair, I would have laughed at you and told you were crazy. No way would I ever do that. And then yet here I am, and it just came so naturally. And I love that some of this stuff that we are reinventing ourselves in our next chapters, we're turning some of our passions into love and, into businesses. And I'm so passionate about helping women to embrace this, just like you are, that it's wonderful. So we're going to use all our time talking about that because we could go on and on about that ages stuff. But I want to jump over because I really want you to have a chance to tell everybody about. We keep talking about Second Act Women. I want you to give us a little sight of what that is. Like, tell us what Second Act Women is really about, what its goal is, and why you started it. Share a little bit with that.
So SecondAct Women is a company that I started in 2018 that is focused on professional and personal development of women over 40. And I started the company because in 2018, I couldn't get hired. Now, my background is shopping center marketing. Yes, there's a such thing. Every mall or mixed-use property does have someone behind the scenes marketing the project to the property to get you to shop us. And so my last stint, if you're in Colorado, it was Park Meadows Retail Resort. And so when I became an entrepreneur in 2011, after losing that job, darn it, that was my dream job. I became an entrepreneur. I owned a marketing and PR agency at the time, and then I took on. I've since had 2 marketing PR agencies because I had mine, and then I partnered with my business partner Guadalupe, and we started another one, and then together. In 2018, we decided, you know what, it's time. I want to go back into corporate America for consistency. I had a home. I was a little burned out on being an entrepreneur because I was a corporate woman. I couldn't find a job then. And I thought, you know what, this kid, and I didn't know his age, by the way. I just thought, this is weird. I'm usually that girl, that woman who will apply for a job, get the interview, and 9 times out of 10 get the job offer, and it wasn't happening. And I'll give you 3 numbers: 100, 7, and 0. I sent out over 100 resumes to land 7 interviews to get 0 job opportunities.
Oh, jeez.
So I started Second Act Women thinking, okay, and it didn't have a name. I'm going to create an event company. I'm going to pull this idea off the shelf. I'm going to create something that's very similar to Denver Startup Week, but it's called Women's Business Week. Bought up all the URLs, and then I, as a marketer, loves research. So I decided, okay, if I'm going to create this new company, this third company, oh, by the way, Lupe at the time was also, we consciously uncoupled. So she was also trying to get into corporate. Actually, for her first time, she'd been an entrepreneur her entire adult life since college. So as I'm bringing women together and I'm starting to hear over and over and over, the research marketer side of me is hearing, oh, there's actually not something that is really targeted for women of a certain age. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to create a company, don't know the name of it. I'm going to get a bunch of these same women that I'm interviewing in these brainstorm sessions to create this thing. I decided, I'm going to create a company, again, that's just focused on us. So Second Act Women was born in the middle of 2018, and we launched with our very first event, because Second Act Women was still just going to be an event company, a conference company. And I was lucky enough to beg Lupe to come back to me. And so she joined, and the 2 of us launched the company. Now, at the time, again, it was just going to be events, and then COVID happened, and then we had to do the swivel like everybody else.
Right.
And
right.
so, yeah. So then the company has since become where it's not just events, but we have a beautiful community. We're now over 21,000 all told on all social media platforms and emails. Our email, that's called Aging Out Loud, because that's what we're all doing. That's what Second Act Women is about. So we not only have the workshops, the boot camps, the conferences, but now we're all about content. Let's provide really awesome content to inspire, motivate for the women. I'm not here to empower, because if you know what the word empower means, you have to empower yourself. So we provide information, stats, really great conversations about this time in life. And then on top of that, the community. So now it's conferences, it's curated events, it's community and content. So that's what the company has really folded itself into being. Then, as an entrepreneur, I have now since over the last year and a half been asked to speak inside of corporations about the power of women over 50, over 40, about the power of multi-generational teams. And so
Yes.
now, not only do I have Second Act Women, but I have my own personal brand, Barbara Brooks, the founder of Second Act Women. But now I go into corporate America and women's conferences and really do what I'm doing inside of Second Act Women, but now powering up and also directly, wink, wink, indirectly, having corporations hear my message, seeing that, oh, if they keep women and men and they over a certain age, there's actually power in that. Their bottom line goes up because productivity, creativity, collaboration comes from that. So that's now my way of reframing what age looks like and trying to take ageism out of the when hiring managers are now thinking to hire, hopefully they'll now retain us first of all, but also hire us because they're hearing from me and others. The power of having all 5 generations, Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, Gen X, boomers, and traditionalists. All 5 of us that are in the workplace now.
I love it. I feel like we could have numerous conversations like this, Barbara, because I feel like each topic could take its own 30-minute conversation. But I love what you're doing. So tell everybody right now while we're on the phone, on the call, where can they find you? Right? Give us some of your social, obviously Second Act Women, but tell us the 3 key spots that people can find you if they're just as eager as I am to jump on board and become a follower and a listener of what you have to say.
Well, and let me just, before I do that, I can't wait to support you and market your event that's coming up this fall, just so you know.
I'm all thank you
on that, and I'm hoping to goodness I can make it myself as a participant. And so, they can find the company at Second Act Women, spelled out, secondactwomen.com. They can find me at barbarabrooks.com. And then I just encourage you to join the conversation. We talk adolescence, we talk menopause, mental health, we talk about aging, ageism, good stuff, caregiving. We talk about all these things inside of our Facebook community that's really happening to us once we do hit 40, 50, 60 plus. And so Second Act 40, 50, 60 plus on Facebook. There's a beautiful global community of 5,400 of us. And then join my email list too when you pop onto any one of the websites, because I would love to share Aging Out Loud with you as well. That's what we're doing, like I said.
Yes, I love it. If more women would get their voices get louder, right, then they won't be able to ignore us any longer. They'll have to take attention as we stop quieting our voices. I think women have been given the message we're supposed to be more quiet and in the background, and yet, especially as we get older, we're supposed to be just kind of quietly stepping behind, but yet so many of us are stepping out and claiming it now. And I think that's a reason to celebrate.
We have to, because Gen Xers and Boomers, we were taught not to. We were taught, and that's why we're going unseen, unheard, undervalued, because we're holding our own voices back. And we shouldn't. We have a lot to say. We are we are the ones that are driving the economy. That's what people have to realize.
Yes.
Is that, and if I can leave everyone with one thing too, is that you have to you are so powerful that women, particularly over 50, have a $15 trillion buying authority. I mean, women already, regardless of age, were the ones who were making the decisions in the household. And so brands eventually need to recognize that. And in 2018 alone, if there is someone that's on the other side that's listening to the reasons why they need to hire, keep, and all of that, and recognize our power, $850 billion was lost in the U.S. economy to ageism. That was 2018, because COVID was actually the great push out. So you can imagine what that number might be today.
So hear that if you're listening,
Yeah, but then I also want people to recognize that we cannot continue with the age bias for women, men, and they. It's and reverse ageism as well, because we all experience that at one point. So.
Yes, I think that's part of it. The ageism happens both ways at some point in our lives, right? It's part of all of our stories and all of our journeys. But I do feel right now that we women, as women, we have to encourage each other, support each other. Barbara, I am so excited that Second Act is not far from me, so I can come down to all these amazing things that you're doing down in the Denver metro area. Everybody check out Facebook, check out our website. You don't have to be local to necessarily be joining the Facebook conversations, right? So I mean,
Right.
check it out. You just did an amazing event not long ago. Was it a month ago, 2 months ago? The
It was a couple months ago, Biz
businesswomen's,
LifeCon. Yeah.
Biz LifeCon. I mean, plan that out for next year's calendar. I mean, I'm so excited as well for this connection, and thank you for sharing some of your unique, special insight. And thank you for the challenging with the ageless. I love that we got to have that conversation, and we will be in touch soon. And everybody, thank you for listening, and we'll all see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.